Good morning, everyone. My name is John Carlo. I'll be the senior project manager for this project. I'm here today with Kevin Levy, project manager, Seth Hendrickson, our superintendent, Jordan Pekotsky, our safety manager. We're from UNF and we're representing Osprey Corp.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Levy. I'm the project manager for the Epic One. These are a couple of our previous most recognized projects. Starting from the left-hand side, we have the Rolex building. It has a twisting architecture, which is similar to the shifting box structure that we're going to do at the Epic One. It also has a rooftop garden similar to the amenity center at the Epic One. In the center, we have the Legacy Tower with it's a six-story structure with a sloping curtain wall, similar to the curtain wall at the Epic One. And then to the right, we have the Chase building, one of the Dallas most recognized buildings, and it's well over 1 million square feet, 55 stories. At the Epic One, here's a brief overview of our schedule. I broke it down into 3 sections: pre-construction, construction, and closeout. In the pre-construction phase, we're going to do our bid comparisons, sign subcontractors, fabricate our long lead items like our precast concrete and our elevators, and then the material should be available.
Ow. Oh my God, ow, ow, ow.
In our construction phase, it's going to be our longest section. We're going to have our garage, which is going to be beginning May 7th, 2021, and that'll go on until August 30th, 2022, just at around 14 months. And then our structure with the offices will begin on October 11th, 2021, and that will finish July 12th, 2023, and that'll be just at around 24 months. I'm really liking the times for these. Following that, we'll go to our closeout, which will do our punch items, our certificate of occupancy, and that'll bring us into our warranty period. These are our milestones. A couple of the milestones I wanted to point out are our glazing. It's going to be at around 4 to 5 months to start and finish our glazing. Once we complete our glazing, it'll give the building a very complete look for the city of Dallas to see and appreciate all of our hard work we've done. Here's our site utilization plan. We're going to go with 2 tower cranes. Along with that, we're also going to go with 2 buck hoists. One of the buck hoists being primarily for materials, where the subcontractors will be able to reserve in a lot of time if they have a material delivery and they need to bring it into the building. The other buck hoist will be for the workers to get up into the building. We're also going to have a security entrance. It's going to be the only entrance point for the workers to come in, where there will be COVID screening to start off the day. And here's Seth Hendrickson, our superintendent, to go over the quality control plan.
Hello, my name is Seth Hendrickson with Osprey Corp. I'm the superintendent for this project. At Osprey Corp, we value quality control, and so we are industry leaders in that field. We accomplish this in a couple of ways. The first way is our modern technology. We use a Procore management software and BIM clash detection. We use some BIM for clash detection, so we can see any problems going forward. Real-time QC app allows us to track punch list items, and a 360 photo record gives you a time lapse of beginning to end for our project. We are also based out of Texas, out of Dallas, Texas, which gives us an advantage of we know local regulations really well, and we value local companies and contractors. Some things we find important are the Division 3 cast in place concrete and the Division 8 curtain walls. Both of these items are important because they're large sections of the construction project. And as you can see, we have our quality control plan is a 3-step process. A preparatory inspection, which is done before work is completed. We review all contract requirements and materials, any equipment that needs to be used. The initial inspection, which will be done during while work is being completed. We'll continue reviewing contract requirements. And our final inspection is when work is completed. We will ensure all finishes are in compliance with contract requirements. Finally, we have a warranty program that ensures our quality because we have that much faith in ourselves. And it shows that we at Osprey Corp do not go away when the project is finished. Next up is Jordan Petkowski with the safety plan.
My name is Jordan Petkowski, and I'll be the full-time safety manager on the Epic One job site. 3 key areas that we like to focus in on in regards to safety are transparent communication, personal accountability, and continuous training. Going into a few of our metrics, we have an EMR of 0.62 and a total recordable incident rate of 0.97. So taking a look at our top 5 significant hazards and risks on the Epic One, we have cave-ins, public protection, fall hazards, underground utility strike, and COVID-19 exposure. So for fall hazards, mainly we're looking at the 9 open elevator shafts, the walls for open excavation. For underground utility strikes, we'll be coordinating with local utility companies to come ahead and mark all existing utilities. We'll also be using X-ray imaging and insulated PPE. And COVID-19 exposure. So this is a significant health risk, but also presents a risk for our schedule and timeline. So we'll be utilizing no contact temperature checks, hand washing stations, and socially distanced meetings. And we will also have separate break areas for different workers. So our delivery vehicles, if those guys want to get out and take a break, they'll have a separate area from our subcontractors and self-perform team. Next will be John Carlo with the estimate.
Thank you, guys. So for estimate, we want to give a quick representation of our cost breakdown in 4 main categories. Some of the items we wanted to highlight in this pie chart was our general conditions. These are roughly about 6.9% of our job, which we feel like it's a good number for this type of project. Next item I wanted to highlight was the contractor fee, which sits at about 3%. Some might say it's a little low, but we feel a lot comfortable with our number, just because we're locally based and we have contractors controlled insurance program put in place to protect us from any claims. Next up is our direct cost breakdown. Towards the left, you can see the average cost breakdown by area. We've broken down in 4 main areas, which are below grade garages, the lobby and retail area, the above grade garages, and office space. This puts us at around a guaranteed maximum price of $98 million and an average cost per floor of $5.6 million. So if you remember from slide number 3, the Chase Tower was a previous project we built. When that was built, that was in 1987, and at the time it was $5.4 million average cost per floor on that building. We've calculated inflation for that and adjusted the price for that, and comparing it to our project, the Chase Tower would have been $12.6 million per floor. So we definitely feel good about a cost per floor on this one for the Epic One. And then if we take a look at our costs per square foot, it's around $155. That if you look back at the Legacy Tower, I remember that one being roughly at around $373 per square foot. So for this project and the Epic One, I do feel very comfortable with our price per square foot because it's roughly about half of the Legacy Tower was. Towards the right, you could take a look at our percentage by scope of work. As you can see, the vast majority of it is concrete and MEP at around 39% of our project. This gives us an idea of where our resources should be allocated and what needs to be prioritized during the duration of the project. After that, on behalf of UNF and the Osprey Corp, we'd like to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity of presenting on the Epic One. And we'd like to open up the floor for any questions you guys have for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I'll go ahead and turn it over to the judges. Tommy, I'll start with you.
All right, thank you, Haley. Thank you, Osprey Corp. My first question for you all is on your org chart. I didn't see, who you'd indicated as your QC manager full time on the job was. Can you confirm who that individual will be and confirm that you have them full time in your price?
Correct. That'd be Seth Hendrickson. That's going to be our full-time safety manager on the job. QC manager, my bad. So he's going to be throughout the whole project. On our general conditions, we've gotten down to the lifetime of the project. So it's definitely something we did account for coming up to this project.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
One additional question for you on safety. So you've noticed we've got a light rail line, a rail line that's running adjacent to the job site. Can you elaborate on specific ways that you all will protect that rail line as you're doing concrete and curtain wall work?
Can I ask the question on that? Do you mean specifically like site logistics, like how are we implementing our site logistics into protecting traffic control in that specific area?
Yeah, our main concern is, having debris or anything fall and impact the light rail trains, whether that's striking a train or striking the track and damaging it or getting in the way.
Yeah, so we'll have safety nets in order to prevent falling objects near that rail line, and then we'll also have the protective fence around the exterior of the building. And then near that area, we will be doing some traffic control as needed, and we will have warning signs labeled. So that is a big priority for us, and we'll make sure no objects are falling and damaging that rail line.
Thank you. Let another judge jump in.
Yeah, this is Amanda. I've got a couple questions for you guys. At the very beginning of the presentation, you talked about the long lead items, and I think I heard you mention elevators. Can you elaborate what the lead time is, and is there any options to go expedite that?
Yeah, it's going to be about 24 weeks based on the schedule. Once we receive the notice to proceed, we'll go ahead and have them start working on it, and it should be ready for when the elevators are ready to be installed.
Are there any other long lead items you guys are worried about on this project?
None we're too concerned about, just because right now there's a long lead items for a lot of materials, so we'll be ready for them. I guess the elevators are our primary concern for the lead items.
Okay. When you guys were speaking to your trades to put together the estimate, did any of them propose any value engineering opportunities to save costs?
No, none of the trades propose any value engineering. We're going to be self-performing our foundation, where we'll have our value engineer for that, for the concrete work.
Okay, 10-4. I guess with that, so are you only self-performing concrete on this project?
No, there's a couple items we'll be self-performing, but our biggest item will be the concrete, the structural concrete, which will be self-performing.
What other scopes are you self-performing?
We'll be doing a couple of finishes, and yeah, mostly finishes and some openings as well.
Okay. My last question, on your slide with the pie chart about the dollar value, it looked like you have about 6.7% allocated for reserves. Where do you foresee needing to spend that money? And is there any opportunity for shared savings with the owner?
Could you elaborate on that? So you're talking about the estimate chart on where I
Yeah.
was talking about the
Yep.
indirect reserves.
Yep.
So for the indirects and reserves, we basically allocated some of our allowances on that, specifically on, let me back real quick. Specifically on termite control and just some allowances like that. For most of the indirects costs were based off of supervision and temporary facilities. Um, yeah, mostly around those kinds of items.
Okay. I will pass it off, Haley, to another judge.
Hey guys, this is Brant. A couple questions. One, good presentation. Biggest risk on the job for you guys, what does that look like?
Fall protection.
Dropped objects.
Yeah. Fall hazards.
Okay. How do you plan on, do you guys have a good site you plan with the tight site that you have for getting trucks in and out with all these big glass deliveries for the facade?
Correct.
Can you walk through that?
Yeah, on the site utilization plan, we have an area for material drop off, and they'll have their own buck hoist as well that they can reserve if needed. So they'll have their own area, primarily away from the other workers to load up into the building or wherever they need to be.
So glass has got a big staging area. It'll come off a truck and it'll sit in some sort of yard and hoisted with a crane, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then what, Amanda asked a good question earlier about VE items. Do you guys see anything that you can do with either size, shape, color, or, you know, maybe there's something with the glass to save cost on that and maybe even time?
Well, I guess for saving time, we're gonna have our aggressive start, we're gonna go right for the glass, the concrete, the elevators, and the structural steel, get those fabricated and going to have them completed.
Right. We've had some discussions on having some of the items prefabbed, just to get an aggressive start, as Kevin was talking about.
Okay. I'll pass it off to another judge.
Hi, this is Chris. There's a couple questions I've got with your cover letter on some critical items that I want to just make sure understand on your best and final offer. Your cover letter said your proposed value is 122 million, but your pricing exhibit A4 said 99 million. I just want to make sure understand what your proposed value for the project is.
Right. So we definitely feel good with our $98 million number. After getting a wave of quotes, we've decided that that's our final number. We feel like we've covered every division, and that we've done an extensive research on all the quotes, and that would probably be a good number to feel good about.
Okay. The other thing I would like to clarify is your cover letter stated the August 14th, 2023 date was substantial completion, but the schedule you included shows the same date as final completion. I'd like to confirm whether the August 14th date is substantial or final completion.
That'll be final completion.
Okay. Thank you. Going back to your estimate and everything, it might have been a typo because your original proposal was 122 million and you just confirmed your best and finals 99 million, which is over a 20% reduction. Can you tell me where you saw such a significant reduction and why you saw such a significant reduction in certain areas?
Right. So some of the areas we found some changes on were electrical, especially MEP. Most of the work we were basing off of rates on other states we performed work. So whenever we got quotes from local firms or local subcontractors, we thought it was best to keep them and then not self-perform our work.
Thank you. One final question I've got for you. I understand you guys plan on self-performing the concrete work. Can you elaborate on any efficiencies you believe that you are able to bring to the project from a schedule standpoint by self-performing it over using some of the local concrete contractors? And can you also let me know, or what do you guys feel your current cycle time is right now per typical floor plate for the garage and office building?
So for self-performing the concrete work, it'll keep it consistent. We're able to manage it more efficiently than having a local concrete branch come out and dealing with them. We're specialized in concrete foundations, so we feel comfortable having the self-performing the concrete foundation for the structure along with the other structural concrete.
Okay. And what is your schedule for each floor placing? Are you cycling? What's the cycle time on per floor?
It's looking at between 6 and 8 weeks per floor.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hey guys, building off a earlier question in terms of staffing, we noticed that you do only have one project engineer shown on your staff chart. With the aggressive start that you guys keep mentioning, do you feel like that's adequate to support the work?
Yeah, we do. We have a well put up team. We're really confident on our administration. We definitely feel like we're the right team to get an aggressive start. We already know how to do it. We've been in the area before, so we definitely don't feel like it's a little low.
Okay, thank you.
This is Tommy. I've got a question or two. With that, if you find you need a staffing plan, if you find that you need additional staff, will you be expecting a change order for that, or would you have that covered in your cost if you need to bring more folks on board?
So part of that is included in our reserves and indirects. I forgot to mention that earlier. So yeah, if we needed to do any change order on our staff, we would be able to do so. Just because we know
Okay,
there's tenants
thanks
moving
for that.
in time.
All right. One other question on your on GCs and finances. Actually, we might have time for two here. The first one would be your builder's risk, roughly around $1.6 million on a $99 million project. That seems high from what we're used to seeing and what we've seen from your competition. Are there any special items that are driving that rate so high that we would need to be aware of? And then if you find that you've made an error in calculating that, would that be a savings that would come back to the owner?
Yeah, that number is one that we can review for potential error. If there is an error, the savings will go back to the owner. But I think we are pretty comfortable with the number we have there, but that'll be one we can review and let you know if we can lower it down for you.
Okay. Yeah, we're used to, we've kind of calculated roughly about $800,000 to $900,000 is what we're expecting the premium to be on this size project.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something we could look at.
All right. And then my second question for you would be, we failed on the bid form to give you a line item to indicate where you have your GL insurance included. Can you confirm that you've got GL insurance included and advise us, a ballpark figure for what that value is?
Just to make sure, are you talking about general liability?
Yes, sir. The GL.
Yeah, we
General
do have the
liability.
GL insurance included. Just off the top of my head, I want to say it's around $300,000, just about ballpark.
Okay, thank you. That's adequate.
Yep.
That's it for questions for me.
Okay,
We're
we
right
are
about at time.
Yep, we're out of time. Congratulations, guys. Well done. And if you can, please go ahead and log off. You're more than welcome to log back on if you'd like to view, but we just need to log off as presenter. And congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys. Yeah, good one.